Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing well. Good afternoon. Um, I'm coming back because I misspoke the last time. I think I was saying that the last uh, reaction or commentary that I did about Travis Rudolph and the trial that was going on was that they were kind of wrapping up, but today is day 8 of that trial, and they're actually wrapping up today. So I think they'll be doing like closing arguments and things like that. But I wanted to come on here because yesterday, day 7, Travis's mom, Mrs. Linda Rudolph, she testified, and y'all, it was exactly what I had been saying, that this family is has been traumatized based on what happened to Travis's dad. But there were like a few things that I kind of noted and wanted to talk about with y'all today. So again, I hope your afternoon is going well. Today is Tuesday, so try to make it a terrific Tuesday. Where I am, it is very gloomy and it's been raining off and on. But where I am, y'all know it's hurricane season, child. So hurricane season is raining like almost every day, like seriously. So yeah, okay, so y'all, let's get into it. Again, this is just my opinion. This is commentary based on the Travis Rudolph trial, the ex NFL player who has been charged with murder. There was a brawl at his mom's home, and where he testified that his ex-girlfriend Dominique Jones was there to kind of in my opinion, kind of ignited this whole thing by sending a text to her brothers after her and Travis got into an argument, and they came over, got into a brawl, and one of them was shot and killed. um so yes, so Travis's mom, you could tell just by the look on her face when she got on the stand that she is grieving. You know, as simple as that, she's grieving. And Travis also got on the stand yesterday, and he indicated that, or said that he was surprised that his mom, the lawyer asked, one of the lawyers asked him a question about the mom grieving and being able to kind of move forward after the dad's death. And Travis was saying that he was surprised that his mom was even able to come and testify and really talk about this whole situation. I would imagine because it's a trigger for her. She is, was already in the grieving process, but now it's like she has to grieve all over again. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying that he was surprised that she was even able to do that. But she got on the stand, and she was, it seems like she was, she's trying to be there for her son and things like that. But she confirmed that after her husband was, was killed, that, and this was in 2017, that she didn't feel safe. Right, she didn't feel safe, so she amped up the security at her house. Now, most people, at their house, they might have a ring, they might have, you might have just like one security measure. This lady had 9 cameras in her house, and they didn't give it doesn't appear that they had a huge house, just like it didn't appear that way. Just like an average dwelling, right? And she indicated that she had 9 cameras where she could see inside her house, she could see outside of her house. She had different types of cameras and things like that. So you could tell that this was definitely confirmation that she was always on alert and trying to make sure that she was safe. Hence why her oldest son, DJ, he uh came back to Florida to help his mom, and things like that. Also because probably she didn't, she wasn't feeling safe. So she also confirmed that, because I was wondering, I'm like, all right, did they always live in Florida, or did they live in Alabama? Are they from Alabama and things like that? Because they mentioned something about them having a farm in Alabama. And, DJ is into agriculture and things like that. And, but it sounds like maybe they're from Florida, or she was born, she lived here a long time and things like that. But they have land in Alabama. I think they mentioned that they have like 50 acres or something like that in Alabama, and that's where the farm is, and that's really where DJ wants to be. But of course, he's here in Florida trying to make sure that his mom is okay, right? So you can kind of tell on her face that she is still, like, she is actively in the grieving process. She also mentioned that she hasn't been able to work since her husband died. She said it kind of got to be too much for her and things like that. When they asked her if she had grandchildren, she confirmed, she's like, yes, I had two grandchildren, but one of them passed. And I'm like, wow, okay, so it's been two deaths, right? And especially of a grandchild, they didn't give any specifics, of course, or anything like that, but that just kind of adds to everything, right? Um, but going on into kind of like what happened on that, it seems like on that day that Dominique and Travis got into it, Dominique ended up, wait, let me go back, because based on what the mom was saying, it appears that they weren't maybe like very close with Dominique, but that she did treat her like she was her daughter. Um, and it appeared to me like that, because she was saying Dominique was texting her, Dominique would call her, Dominique would call his sister and things like that. So there was some type of relationship where Dominique felt comfortable with talking to them about what was going on between her and Travis, right? Um, and so she said once they got into it, she said the girl, Dominique, she called her and was like, you better come get your son. He got the wrong girl. You better come talk to him, or whatever she was saying, right? She's like, oh, I'm getting ready to call my brothers. This is what the mom said. Now I was thinking, what kind of girl is he messing with? I mean, to be honest, just to be frank, like, she sound ratchet. Like, why are you calling this guy's mom to involve her in whatever you upset about with her son? Again, you could have just made the decision, you know what? I'm not getting ready to mess with you no more. This is too much. I ain't trying to do this. Like, I'm not for this. Let me just leave you alone, right? Um, but you decided to call his mom. Like, what was his mom gonna do? What was his mom gonna do? Now, Travis later on, when because he got on the stand yesterday too. When he got on the stand, he described himself as a mama's boy, right? So when I think of like, and what do y'all think? I think when you say you're a mama's boy, it's kind of like, if somebody know that, it's like if you do something wrong, okay, I could call your mama and she's gonna get you in check. Like, she gonna make sure you do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mom can control him or something like that. But this was like late at night, 10:30, 10 o'clock at night, and you calling this guy's mom. It's for her to do what? You should have took your butt home, right? So she said that she called her, and then she just like said all this stuff, and then she hung up the phone. And so she said, the Mrs. Rudolph said she was concerned, like, okay, let me try to see what's going on. She told her sister like something ain't right, and she said she texted her back and was like, and told her like, I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't know. Y'all need to just leave each other alone. Y'all gonna keep going back and forth. So this is it appears, right, confirmation that their relationship always, for the most part, they always arguing and always getting into it for something, and everybody else got to try to mitigate the situation. Right, the brother, he telling Travis to leave the girl alone. She too much trouble. Right, she always arguing. She always getting mad about something. Just leave her alone. Now the mom saying, "Listen, if y'all can't get along, if y'all not, not gonna be together, and both of y'all do right or whatever, then y'all just need to just again leave each other alone." She also told her, "You need to go home." Right? Okay, so I don't know if she called Dominique and Dominique didn't answer. Who knows, right? But she said she texted her, and I would imagine it's evidence of her texting her from Dominique's phone and things like that. So anyway, she ended up, of course, going home because she was done doing what she was supposed to do. And um fast forward to when the brothers came, the mom was at home, right? And she heard all of the fighting outside, and I think the mom was outside. Can you imagine? Right? Just sit back and imagine you got two sons, you done already lost your husband, right? Your somewhat of your protection for your family and things like that, and you walk outside. She said she thought she saw five guys out there jumping on her sons. They was all fighting. And she starts to try to get in between the situation, telling them, "Y'all need to leave. I got cameras around here. Everything is on camera. Just leave, or basically like get off my property, leave us alone or whatever," right? And um she said they were telling her like, "No, we here for Travis and all this stuff." But then after a while, when Travis was outside, she was actually telling her son. And see, this is why when I start to think of, are they going to find Travis guilty, it's two things that come to my mind of why they might, right? And of course it can go either way. This is just my opinion. The first one is that somebody, even though there were five guys, right, on two, because it was just Travis and his brother, right? They said they were fighting and all this stuff. His mom kept telling him, "Just come in the house." And it appears, based on how they presented the information, how the information was, the evidence was presented, that he had a chance to just go back in the house, right? He had a chance, but it sounds like when he got on the stand, he was trying to say, like, this all happened in really like a matter of seconds. So he didn't really have time, it appears, to really think about what was going on, what he could do. All he knew was four dudes came to my house, banging on the door like they the police. They came and trying to find one of them. They hit me in the eye and all this stuff, and I'm gonna defend myself, right? But it appears based on the evidence that, okay, you had time to go back in the house. Your mom kept yelling, "Come back in the house, come in the house, Travis, just come in the house," right? And he didn't. Now, also though, the 4 dudes, the mom was telling them to leave, and they didn't leave. Now, after a while, it seems like they start running down the street or something, trying to get in their car, and the brother ran after one of them. I guess when he was fighting. And when you hear all of this, it's kind of confusing, because probably because it did happen in a matter of seconds, right? Um, so what they were also trying to say was that um Travis shot at them, but that the prosecution was saying that he was shooting at them when they were driving away from him. So she kept trying to make the argument of, why were you shooting at somebody that was not coming towards you? Right. And so he was like, "Oh, they did have, their guns pointed at me, but based on like the video, I guess nobody can see that." So she kept drilling in. I was like, okay, this is the second reason why he might be found guilty, because why were you shooting at somebody that you didn't need to defend yourself from, because they were were running from you, like they were driving away from you. But he was saying that no, they were driving towards me and pointing guns through the window at me, right? So I'm like, this could really kind of go, either way. But it all comes back to Dominique, right? Because, like I said yesterday, if Dominique did not send that text saying, "Come shoot his ish up," then they wouldn't have went over there anyway. They wouldn't have had no reason to be going over there, right? Um, so yeah, so today is closing arguments. I'm really interested to see, hear the closing arguments, and also, of course, to see what the verdict will be. When Travis got on the stand, like, I don't know, y'all. I felt like this guy, his life is ruined. Like it's like it's a really sad situation for everybody, right? Especially seeing his mom up there. I felt really, really sad for the mom. She is, of course, continuing to go through the grieving process, right? She lost her husband through something tragic, which they feel like, it sounds like the family feels like this was no accident. The authority said that he was killed by accident, but they think otherwise. So she's grieving from that, right? She's grieving from the loss of her grandchild, right, which we have no details about. Also, she is grieving, back to her husband. She's grieving the life that they envisioned having together, right? Right? She's grieving that. Like, she's not going to have that. She's also grieving the loss of her son potentially, right? Because if her son is found guilty, he's gonna be locked up, right? So now she grieving the loss of the relationship she had with her son. Now they kept saying that DJ, he wants to be in Alabama, like he wants to be um at the farm, right? Now, unless the mom moved back there with him, I mean, it doesn't sound like she maybe have any plans to do that or anything. But now the oldest son, he has to kind of grieve the life that he was going to have, because now he feels that obligated to take care of his mom because his dad and brother are not here, right? So this is a sad situation all around. It seems like, it appears based on the mom's testimony, and really you could just tell in her eyes that, of course, again, she's going through the grieving process. And so there are different stages of grief, right? First you have, like, shock and denial, where you have the confusion, you're fearful of things. That's probably where her kind of increasing her security at her house and things like that, kind of feeling numb about the situation, right? That's that shock and denial stage. But then you get to that anger, right? You get to anger where you have probably a little bit of anxiety, frustration, you're irritated, you're shamed about things. And then you have a period where depressive symptoms may present themselves, where you're feeling overwhelmed, there's a lack of energy, helplessness, right? um, and probably some of the symptoms in that stage presented themselves when she was trying to go back to work. And I think she said that she worked at like a nursing home. Just imagine, right? Just kind of working with people who are, some of them may be at the end stages of life, and she has to go to work and face that every day, and her husband is gone and things like that, right? So she said that she just got to a point where she couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't work anymore, right? So a lot of people, when things like that happen and they get to the point where they're not able to work, right? It's kind of twofold, right? You're not able to function at work because of the trauma that you're dealing with and the loss. But also, if you stay at home, you're going to dwell in those symptoms, if that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't help you to go to work, but it also doesn't help you to stay home either, because when you have an idle mind, you're not doing much, you're not engaged in activities, you're not socializing with other people, then that's what you're going to think about, right? You're going to think about the things that are not going right, that went wrong, the coulda, woulda, shouldas, right? Um, Anxiety, trying to live in the future, figuring out what your life is going to look like without this person, and also living in the past, like, well, what did happen, having all these questions about where he was, if it would have went this way, or if this decision was made, all kinds of stuff, right? So then it sounds like she has started to maybe get back into trying to get back into the swing of things. She was going to Bible study at her sister's house. I don't know if she's, at that kind of bargaining stage where she's, kind of telling people her story, kind of struggling to find meaning with everything that happened with her husband, and also with this situation, right? Because again, it seems like Dominique was um pretty, not super close, but pretty close with the family. Now, this is another thing. Travis, and he did not. I said, now, Travis, you didn't got up there and lie to these people. And I'm sure a lot of people caught this when he said, the lawyer, the prosecutor asked him, oh, the defense asked him, were you in a relationship? He was like, no, I wasn't. That was not Dominique wasn't my girlfriend. Like, I was just doing me, and figuring out, who I want to be with, and I had a lot of friends and all this stuff, right? Okay. So I said, now, why he didn't tell these people that wasn't his girlfriend? He know doggone well that was his girlfriend, right? Because then here come the prosecutor, baby, she laid it out. And I was reading some of the comments, and some people, the baby, they was on that prosecutor. They like, oh, you was waiting. They said, oh, you was waiting on Travis to get up there so you could try to, you know, um, save all your the passion as a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You know how they talk and they try to emphasize things and all this stuff. She was just waiting till Travis got up there. She didn't do that with nobody else. This is what the comments were saying, right? And so when she got up there and asked him, she said, she said, okay, she was like basically sleeping at your house every day. She was spending the night every day, right? When she had her BBL surgery, I guess it was BBL surgery, child. It appears that's what it was. He was the one helping her when she had to recover. They were doing relationship things. They were going to the movies and things like that. She had gone to his sister's reception. Even her brother had gone to the reception. She apparently knows the mom's phone number, calling the mom and things like that. The mom said that she treated her like her daughter. She just can't believe she could do something like this. And like just basically set her son up, and for someone to hurt her family and things like that, because she did treat her as a daughter, and it sounds like she was at her house a lot. And remember, I told y'all her Dominique's brother, he when he got on the stand, he even said that one time he took Dominique to the hair salon, and he had to wait for her, and he just went to Travis' house to wait for her and did his homework. Like, that tells you that it was pretty close, right? And so, like, how could she again kind of get to this point where she thought, you know what, I'm gonna call my brothers. I don't think, like I said before, that any of them intended on in this getting to this point, right? But this is why you got to step back and think about what you're doing. This is why you got to step back and say, you know what, we've been going at it too long, we've been arguing too long. This is not a good relationship, it's a toxic relationship. Like, let me just get up out of this, right? um and so yeah, so they are all shocked, it seems like, by all this stuff that has happened and that has occurred. So again, I am curious to see um how things are going to go with the closing arguments and also with the verdict. Let me know what you all think. This is a very interesting story, especially when it comes to learning about grief and loss. Hopefully, they all kind of get to a point where they are able to return to having like a meaningful life. That's part of the grief process as well. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you're watching the replay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.